Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rom back from his little bit of a break. Today, I'm going to talk about the physicality of it all. The physicality. But before I get into it, this car video is sponsored by X-Wolf Testosterone Booster. Now, I've talked about this before. Now, this is very important. Now, I've been advertising it, but I always try stuff before I advertise it. I have some idea about it at the very least. And I've been doing this. Now, this took somebody whose energy was already at like a 9 out of a 10 and took me to a 12. So this is pretty good. It got me doing some extra stuff. I'll put it like that. But this is very good, especially for older gentlemen, because as you get older, the testosterone tends to go down. And that's just a normal thing. So that's why it's very important, especially for older cats, to really stay working out, and especially doing resistance training. You got to strain it. So, sponsored by this, and there's a link in the description box to, try this out. So just hit the link, and Rom sent you. So anyway, the physicality of it all, man. You know what? Lately there's been a lot of people talking about the whole select non-select thing, and to be honest, most people are making a very critical mistake with it. They looking at all the social aspects. They talking about, well, if you have money and power and all of that, you can beat out somebody with swag or game. And to be honest, swag and game is really a secondary thing. Swag and game is really a secondary thing. People think it's because, okay, they said something to a woman or they behaved a certain way. I'm gonna tell you what. First of all, the whole select non-select thing is based on sex. Sex. Physical sex. Now, what women talk about is based on who a woman looks at and wants to fuck. And that shit ain't based on how much money you got. It's not based on how much money you got. Unless it's a situation where men can force the woman to have sex with them, like you got in some, especially in some like Islamic countries or countries where they force relationships. But when women have a choice on who they want to get with, it's on a physicality thing. It ain't, seriously, it's on a physicality thing. Like, you get women who will tell you they take one look at a man, know whether they want to fuck him. Now, the best you can do that way outside of physicality is be hooked up right. But that's not always the case, because of course you see some women, they'll get with some guy, he might just have on like a t-shirt and some gray sweatpants. That's pure physicality. And a lot of guys don't get that part. A lot of guys talking about everything else, but not thinking, well, wait a minute. The woman is subconsciously looking to reproduce a human being. It's a vagina, and everything is going to get into it. And that's the important thing. And even working out, even hitting the gym, is still about the aesthetics. Now, it don't mean you have to be like drop dead handsome, though that helps with some women. See, one thing about women too, every woman got something different that's going to physically turn her on. Now, one of my friends, he got a word for it, and I can't use the word because he's going to come out with a book about it, but I'll just say this much. Every man, if they get to their optimal body build and optimal look, their optimal thing, there's going to be some women's going to go crazy. Now, is every woman going to go crazy over them? Nah, but you don't need that. If you got several women who see you and they like, boom, they like that you're tall, or they like that you stocky. Like, I'm just coming out the gym, and there was a thick sister in there, like thick and shapely, brick house built woman, but she was with a big stocky dude. One of those big dudes who, looked like he bench about 500. He's picking her up too. But that's what turned her on, is a physical thing. Because, you get a lot of people who talk about selecting, non-selecting. It's funny, they always throw that whole Pookie and Ray Ray, or they mess with a bad boy. But the thing is, they looking at like the status of the person. I'll give you an example. You can go to maybe a prison, and there's some women going crazy over the guys, right? And some people might automatically think, oh, they just like guys in prison. But it's like, no, you're looking at the wrong thing. Because there's some guys in there who ain't. It's the guys who's on the weight pile, right? But that same guy or a similar guy who's like in the gym, in the weight room, and he's really working on like popping those muscles in an aesthetic way, shoot, he getting just as much play. Now, real quick, because I saw a commenter. It was on a video. I ain't gonna say which person, but you know, they had the nerve to say some dumb shit like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, dude, how many gyms have I worked in? How many gyms have I worked in? How many like male strippers, or how many cats I've known from the Bahamas, or even a few gigolos, and, you know, personal trainers. Shoot, among the people who follow me, man, I got a lot of personal trainers who follow me. And you check this shit out, women going crazy over there. Shit, even got a couple dudes follow me. Shoot, they on one of those pages on IG where women be going crazy over a guy. And it's about those aesthetics. It's the physical thing. Now, they don't know whether this guy's educated or not. He might well be, but they looking at the physical thing first. Now, I know a lot of guys don't want to deal with their physicality, and they think, oh, it's something else. Let's say, hold up. Use some common sense, y'all. First of all, they got several studies out there that talk about just what I'm talking about. Several studies, because they'll say, yeah, that women want that muscular man. And even the money, even when you talk about money and all that extra shit, that's like a secondary thing. That's extra. The primary thing they're going for is the body. In fact, I personally know dudes right now, it's like the women going crazy over the body, and they not even spending money. They don't even have to spend money on these women. The women let them get away with whatever. Oh, and just to be clear, these guys ain't no Pookie Ray Ray shit. Now, if you got all the body and money, shit, that's when you really do it. But the primary thing is still the physicality. When a woman see you, shit, you could be a billionaire or something. But she ain't gonna know it. She gonna look at your chest. She gonna look at your face, your height, your body build. Shit. If you slightly bow-legged, I always put that out because I'm slightly bow-legged. Trust me, women are very much into it. In fact, if you really listen to how women communicate, listen to how women communicate. They will always, if they're talking about somebody, they will always make a comment about something on them physically. And it could be whatever. They could say, oh yeah, he got long hair, or he tall, or he stocky, if that's what they like. Whatever they like, they will make a comment on them, or any of the guys around them. In fact, if you were to ask any woman, like have an honest conversation about the guys they putting in their friend zone or that turned on by, like honest, like say whatever, I ain't gonna judge it. They'll say, look, they just ain't physically attracted to that person. It's something physical about them. They ain't turned on by the guy. And that's important. It's important for guys to understand, because what it come down to, like I said, is sex. Now, I know a lot of people still don't believe, but look, now a second ago I mentioned about, strippers, gigolos, those cats that live in the islands and stuff. Like you talk to some island boys or something, Caribbean, they'll tell you, or Africa where women coming, it's about the physicality. Or you talk with male exotic dancers, physicality, gigolos getting $3.50 an hour, physicality. Or even some of the street gigolos, physicality. Or even some of the cats who might have they doctors, attorneys, professionals, engineers and stuff. Now somebody might look at them and think, oh well, they're getting it because of their degrees and everything. Nah, that's a secondary thing. That's something all that means is they can walk out in public with that dude. But the women take one look at him and say, oh yeah, he got that big ass chest. And some women be like, hey, look at that print. Seriously, every that physicality is more important. And when you're talking about sex, now you're talking about the other social shit. Oh yeah, that's cool, but they don't necessarily mean they're gonna deal with you. And the situations where a woman will deal with a man on that social basis, that's the man most likely to get cheated on. There's a lot of women who will marry that guy because of peer pressure, social pressure, or they trying to look good, but then those are the ones, they be like, they look at the man. Well, first of all, they give him starfish sex because they ain't really turned on by him. So they'll just lay there. They'll come up with a lot of headaches or whatever. Or they go on those girl trips, or they say, well, honey, yeah, we just going to go to a club. And all of a sudden, you know, some dancer like tearing them up or something like that. Or they go down to the islands. And then, you know, Eddie Murphy talked about that. Dexter St. Jock. That's some real shit. That's some real shit. And that's why, you know, that's why I'm big on the body game. That's why I'm big on the body game. Shit, that's why I be in the gym all the time. Because I've had women recently tell me, oh yeah, it was your body build. That's the first thing. In fact, there's a lot of women I might see just when I'm out and about have no idea what I do for a living. I could just be some broke dude running around. But they see the physicality. Y'all can't really tell much just me in this car. Y'all can see my upper shit, but y'all can't see like my height. My height and my body build. So, you know, that physicality is everything. You know? That physicality is everything. And if people really want to understand what's up, start looking at it that way, then shit makes sense. Because that's the real difference. Like, man, if you get a group of select dudes and non-select dudes, you can put them both in a room. And I can guarantee I can tell who's who. I'll just look at body builds. You know, as long as they're gonna be honest. Because that physicality is like key. Like shit. Like I said. And you know, you don't have to have it like 100%, like everything from head to toe, though that helps if you get there. Oh yeah, that helps. But you know, some dudes might be slim but be real handsome to the woman, you know. Or, you know, depending on the community, maybe, you know, because of their complexion, like in the black community in particular, the complexion. But let's be clear, other races and other ethnic groups, they might be worse, to be honest with you. People think they ain't, but please. Because I know some people think, oh, that's just those black women. Nah, I've personally known a lot of white women in this area. You see their men, these dudes are, as the incels would call them, chads. Even a couple slayers, as the incels would call them. So, you know, that physicality is everything. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, I wanted to put something out. I don't think I'm gonna put out something this Sunday, man. Because people don't realize how much stuff I got outside of YouTube to do, and I don't think I'm gonna put out the same volume of videos and podcasts. Maybe not 2 a day, maybe 1 a day at best. I don't know, because I got other shit I gotta work on. Rom's got to make money. But anyway, y'all, check out the X-Wolf Testosterone Builder and Booster, rather. Check out the link in the description box, alright? So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and blessings.